today we are back with yet again another Q&A. So thank you to everyone who has submitted a question for me to answer for this week's Q&A, and for those who've done it in the past. I really appreciate it. If you would like this series to continue, all you have to do is answer or ask a question over in my community tab on YouTube or over in the group Crafters Anonymous with Miss Coffee, and I usually have something pinned to the top of the group for that. And with today's segment, we do have quite a few entries of questions, so we're going to go ahead and get into it. Again, we're looking for this adorable little fox, and we are going to get started. So the first question is from Suzanne. Suzanne says, "Hi, Miss Coffee. I love how great you are at storytelling. I always enjoy listening to you very much. My question for you is about cleaning." Okay. "I myself hate cleaning the bathroom and also hate ironing." I don't iron. I haven't ironed since I was a kid. People still iron? Which is why I never iron. No. What do you really hate to do when it comes to doing cleaning, and do you avoid it when you can? Probably. "I asked my husband to vacuum the floor for me since I have bruised ribs. He did it in 3 minutes. I should ask him to do it more often because it takes me an hour." So when it comes to cleaning, what do I hate the most? When it comes to cleaning, what do I hate the most? Bathrooms. I hate bathrooms. I have 2 gentlemen in my house who don't act like gentlemen when they go to the bathroom. But no, I really don't like bathrooms, especially having to clean toilets. Toilets is the thing I absolutely hate. And yes, I do avoid them like the plague. I actually will make Mr. Coffee clean them because I can't. I will scrub the hell out of a tub. I will scrub sinks and counters. I do not do toilets. I don't. I will wash every window in this house. I will clean every wall in this house. I will not do toilets. So probably toilets, and yes, I avoid them by making Mr. Coffee do them. And I do it on a weekend so that I know he's home and he has no excuse. So thank you so much for your question, Suzanne. All right, the next one comes from Kelly Big Eyes 1. "I love watching your videos and hearing the stories of your family. My question is, do you keep a journal book of diamond paintings?" No. "If so, how do you have it set up and what info do you include? Thanks." No, I don't. I keep no logs, and I've been saying this since the beginning of time with me on YouTube. I keep no logs of what I have. I have no clue what's up in my craft room upstairs. Now, I have a craft room downstairs, and then I have one upstairs. The one upstairs is where I harbor all my diamond paintings, where I hoard them all, I should say. I have no clue what's up there. I don't keep a journal. I don't keep track of anything that I have, just because there's no point. At any given point in time, I can get sick of diamond painting and just give away my entire stash like I did a couple weeks ago. Like currently right now, I think I have 20 kits up there when I had over 200, just because I got fed up with looking at them and I gave them all away. So I don't keep track of them because just as fast as they come in, they leave out. And because I'm not doing as much diamond painting nowadays, I don't mind unboxing them. But what's probably going to end up happening is I'll keep unboxing them, but then I'll just immediately give them away because I know I'm not going to do them. I don't know if I've completely lost my mojo for it, or if I just, with all the crap that's going on, just don't want to do them. I just don't keep track of them. There's no point, because just as quick as I get them, they're probably going to leave. So no, I don't keep track of them. But thank you so much, Kelly. But if I was going to keep track of them, I of course would do the name, the size of the kit, what drill shape it is. That would be the 3 major things that I would keep in a journal or a log if I were to keep up with which kits I have. I wouldn't worry about like when I got it or how long I think it's going to take for me to complete it or anything like that. Literally just the name, and even if you want to get like super technical, the name, the name of the kit, the company it came from, the size of the canvas, and the drill type. That's it. There's really nothing else for you to want to, or need to keep track of. Like, you don't need to keep track of how many drills each one of them has. You don't need to keep track of what drills are in each kit. Just the company that it came from, the name of the kit, the size of the canvas, the shape of the drills. That's it. Because in that way, you're keeping track of your bigger and your smaller diamond paintings and your round and your square drills. So thank you, Kelly Big Eyes 1, for that. Kim Harmon asks, if you could travel anywhere, where would you go and why? Thank you for doing the Q&As. I have been enjoying them. Well, thank you for asking a question. If I could go anywhere, where would I go? Y'all always ask me to like leave the house, and I get anxiety because I'm like, I don't want to leave the house. But if I could travel anywhere, like right now, if I could just go travel somewhere, it'd probably be to Pennsylvania to go see my daughter. It's really the only place I would want to go. I don't know why. But if you're talking about like, I can go anywhere in the world, you know, wherever. I've always wanted to go to Ireland, so I would probably go to Ireland. And I know somebody's going to be like, you want to go see Rachel? I wouldn't bug Rachel too much. Like, I would go say hi to her, but I want to go explore, like, all of Ireland. It's always been a thing. Like, I don't know why. Like, Ireland and Iceland, I think it is. I've always wanted to go visit there and go, like, just hiking around. I like to hike. So I like to go, I want to go, like, hike around and see, like, all the sites. And I see some of them through Rachel's channel. But she can't, obviously, she can't go everywhere. So I would like to go, like, hike around. And I don't think Rachel's up for hiking around all of Ireland because she kind of lives there. So to her, it's just kind of like, it's just home. But for me, I'm just like, oh, let me take pictures of everything. So it'd probably be Ireland or Iceland, because I think Iceland is the one that has all the greenery, whereas Greenland has all the snow, I think. So one of those places. So thank you so much, Kim, for your question. All Fired Up Crafting Lounge asks, what's your favorite comfort food? She has multiple questions. What's your favorite time of day? Thank you for all you do for the crafting community. You are truly an inspiration. I don't find me inspiring, but okay. Thank you so much. All Fired Up Crafting Lounge. What is my comfort food? Baked mac and cheese. Baked mac and cheese is my comfort food. It's just always a thing, I guess. My mom made it, and now that I'm an adult, and whenever I'm having a rough time, if it's like snacky foods, I don't think I have one, but when it comes to like food, give me some wings and some baked mac and cheese, and now I'm comfortable all day. My favorite time of day. Probably late evenings. It's the only time that I'm not tired. As you guys know, I have really bad anemia, and I found out this week that it's a lot worse than we thought it was. So I'm constantly in a state of I can pass out and go to sleep at any moment, except for late at night. Late at night, for some reason, I'm wide awake. I'm not tired. I don't have a care in the world. Nobody's bothering me. Nobody needs anything from me. And I can just sit and do what I want. So probably later in the evening when I have time for myself, because you got to take that me time for yourself. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so my job doesn't stop. Even right now that they're at school, my job hasn't stopped. It's on pause right now unless they need something at school. So probably later in the evening when I'm not tired and I can actually do stuff. So thank you so much, All Fired Up, for your question. Okay. And then there's Erica's Art. Thank you, Erica's Art, for asking your questions. She has a couple of questions. She has 3 questions. What is your favorite diamond painting and drawing that Miss Coffee has? Oh, she has questions for Mr. Coffee. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him to answer these, because I kind of answer these on Fridays when he's not here. So I'm going to just take a guess at what he would say. And I don't want to wait for him to sit down with me to answer these. So if I can get him to answer them, they'll be at the end of the video. Like I'll do another clip of him answering them. If not, then you'll just have to deal with my answer, I guess. I don't know. So it's for Mr. Coffee. What's your favorite diamond painting and drawing that Miss Coffee has done? I can't tell you what my favorite diamond painting is, because honestly, Mr. Coffee doesn't really give a crap about the diamond paintings. He just wants them to stop coming in the house at this point. But if I had to choose a favorite it would probably be Artemisa. Artemisa is probably his favorite. No, I lied. Where Fun Never Ends is his favorite, because that one he immediately took from me when I finished it. So I would have to say it's Where Fun Never Ends, which of course is a show called Adventure Time that we love watching with the kids, and even if the kids aren't around. And then favorite drawing that I've done. I don't know if he has a favorite drawing that I've done. Again, I would have to ask him, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to ask him before I need to get this up, so I don't I think he just likes the fact that I draw. Again, I'll have to ask him. Like I said, I'm gonna try to answer them the best that I can that I can think of. Miss Coffee mentioned you wanted to be a tattoo artist. How come you never pursued it? There's no money in it. And when I say that, it's not that the industry has no money in it. At the time that he was doing tattoos, he was also working 3 jobs, and he didn't have time to do an apprenticeship to become a tattoo artist because he was working 3 jobs. I was a stay-at-home mom at that point as well because we had 2 small children under the age of 3, and he just didn't have time for it. And then when he got the job up here, making what he makes here versus being a tattoo artist, he decided that it'd be more lucrative for us as a family if he just worked up here instead of becoming a tattoo artist. Plus, in the town that we were living in, there was some scandalous stuff happening with the local tattoo artist that he was going to apprentice under, so he just was like, no. This question is for both of you. What would be one advice you would give each child based on their personalities to succeed in life? Be yourself. That goes for all 3 of them. Be yourself. My kids are very much my kids are very much like their mother. So I don't even have to have Mr. Coffee answer this because he wouldn't answer it anyways. He's weird like that. It pretty much be to be yourself. No matter what you're doing, don't follow the crowd. Don't try to fit in. Just be yourself. If people like you, they like you. If they don't, not everybody's going to like you. It's something that I preach constantly to the kids, which is why I'm trying to have them have more confidence going out into the real world than I did. So preaching to them to be themselves and put their heart and soul into everything that they do, like no matter what it is that they want to do in life, just putting all of themselves into it to succeed and not giving up would be some life advice that I would give them that I wasn't necessarily given when I, left the house. I was just like, they were just like, hey, look, listen, you're 18. I'm just joking. No, I left my parents' house when I graduated high school, literally handed them my diploma and was like, peace out. All right. So thank you so much, Erica's Art, for that. All right. So I got Mr. Coffee to sit down for like 20 seconds. It's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're going to do these real quick because Erica had questions for Mr. Coffee. And then somebody asked another question after I had already said thank you. So Erica's questions for Mr. Coffee were, 1, what is your favorite diamond painting and drawing that I've done? And drawing. Pick the favorite diamond painting first, because those are already done. He likes Button Eye, so I was wrong. It's not Where Fun Never Ends. It's Button Eye. I'm gonna kind of give him a refresher because. Yeah, what that one. So drawing. That one. Which one? That one. The fox? So apparently the one that you guys answered the question under is his favorite one so far. I don't know. Question number 2. Mr. Coffee mentioned you wanted to... Oh, Miss Coffee mentioned you wanted to be a tattoo artist. How come you never pursued it?
Couldn't afford to work and not get paid.
So essentially the answer I gave you earlier in the video, because at the time he was working like 2 and 3 jobs, and we we couldn't afford for him to not get paid while doing the apprenticeship. So it's not that he gave up on it, he just stopped doing it. Randomly, if somebody asks him and if we buy the tools and stuff, he'll do it. So at some point one day, I'm going to buy him the tools so he can do a live tattoo on me of something. Oh my God. 3. This question is for both of you. What would be one advice that you would give each child based on their personalities to succeed in life?
Don't burn it down.
That would be for Maggie. Pretty much, again, the answer I gave you earlier in the video. Be yourself and don't try to fit in with the crowd. Just do your thing. And if people... Maggie, what are you doing? Sorry, this is what happens when I record when people are here. There's like a child. Oh, your leg is fine, girl. She is the hunchback now. Pretty much be yourself. Don't follow the crowd. If people like you, they like you. If they don't, they don't. Please go eat that in the kitchen. So Erica, thank you so much for your question. Again, I'm sorry this is so late.
That's some advice. Please go eat that in the kitchen.
I'm sorry it's so late, but Mr. Coffee tends to sleep in on the weekends, and I had to get him to sit still long enough just to record this little clip because he has to go into work now. So the other question that I got asked in the group after I had already said thank you and everything, it was something about my hair. I remember seeing something about my hair. So let me go check it real quick. So Donna says, hello, Miss Coffee. Hello to the Coffees. My question, if your normal hair is thick, like steel wool, she wrote thick with 3 C's. She ain't lying though. My hair texture is 4C, which is the driest, coarsest hair that you can get. Is that the same thickness? Is it the same thickness and texture when you get a perm? Now, to say this without being racist or however, whatever, you don't know nothing about hair. Get out of here. You have hair, but you don't perm it. So, perms that I get are different than perms that people of European descent would get. I'm trying not to be racist.
You said with like that hair.
Or, yeah, with that hair. With my hair, when I get a perm, it straightens it and makes it thinner. So essentially all the curl is knocked out of it and it's just straight. So it makes it a lot thinner than when it's in like afro curly form. I know for people with hair like that or some variation of that, it makes your hair curly. It doesn't make my hair curly because my hair is already curly. So for my hair, it straightens it, which will of course make it a little less thick. It's not even really that. It's not even really. It is thick, but not like it is when it's in its natural curly state. So those are the answers to those questions. Again, thank you to everyone who asked questions in the video. I really appreciate it. Now I'm going to kick you back to the original video. The next one comes from Laura. Laura says, 2 questions. Any plans to open the Etsy shop again soon? No. If you could have any kind of animal as a pet other than dogs and fairs, what would it be? I answered this one last week. I think it's a sugar glider. I like sugar glider. One of my Cincy girls has a sugar glider, and I was like, oh my god, it's so cute. I want it. So it'd probably be a sugar glider. I don't do reptiles and stuff. So thank you so much, Laura, for your questions. Lenica says, hi, Miss Coffee. What's your favorite hairstyle? This one. Literally, part it off to the side and just swoop it over. I've seen you with braids, long hair, short hair, rainbow, and you rock them all, but if you could have to choose one, what would you choose? Probably my box braids. If you don't know what box braids are, they're like the braids that I used to wear all the time with the colors. Like when I had the black hair with the purple and the black hair with the blue. Those are crochet braids. But I like box braids, which is they just braid onto your hair. Which one would you pick? And you talked about tattoos already, but if there was something you could have as a tattoo for free, as small or big as you want, what would you pick? Well, I can get tattoos for free now, because Mr. Coffee, all I got to do is get him the equipment for it. It says, okay. That leads, okay, she has another question. Hold on. So, tattoo-wise, probably the rest of my Hello Kitties on my back, because that back piece is supposed to go to the middle of my back, and it stops kind of in the in-between spot. I'm still owed 8 more Hello Kitties on my back. So probably the finish my little Hello Kitty army on my back. And that leads to my last question. I'm trying to get my first tattoo ever, and I love cats to bits. Could you draw something for me? Your manimals, I think it's supposed to be, I think it says, I think it's supposed to say animals, are so precious. Lots of love, Miss Coffee, from to the coffee house. Thank you, Lenica. Can I draw you something? That's a lot of pressure. I can try. I'm not the best at drawing animals. I can draw like the cutesy little animals, but I'm not the best at drawing animals. But I can draw something, and if you like it, sure, get it tattooed. That's awesome. Thank you, Lenica. The next one comes from Mary Washington. Hello, Mary. Hello, Miss Coffee. Hey. I think it's one of your earlier chats a few years back. You mentioned you used to model and do photography. If possible, would you still want to do both or either if the way your life was set up? Thanks in advance. All right. So yes, back when I was probably like 16, 17, I did modeling for a few years, and then I decided I hated modeling and I wanted to do photography. Would I do either of them again? Probably photography. I hate having my picture taken. I'm not the biggest fan. And where I feel like I did a pretty good job, and I was a prime candidate for being a model. I'm 6'1". At that time, I was like 115 pounds. So I was nothing but skin and bones, literally skin and bones. And then the reason I stopped doing it was because at 115 pounds, I was told that I was getting a little chubby and I needed to lose about 10 pounds. I'm 6'1". At 115 pounds, I already look like a walking skin skeleton, and they wanted me to still lose more weight, and that's when I realized that I will never model again. That was actually the last modeling gig I went on, and I was like, yeah, F you, and I walked out. So, modeling? No. Photography? I still kind of do photography, but not like professionally. My clientele was back in Pennsylvania, and when I moved to North Dakota, I pretty much vowed that I would not build up another clientele or do anything outside of the house because I'm just not the biggest people. I'm not the biggest people person. Like, it's okay to say these things. These are things that people don't normally say. I like people, but as long as you're not like bothering me like you, like I don't want like people messaging me at all hours of the day and night asking for pictures, which is what would happen in Pennsylvania. So I'm just kind of like, no, I'll do nature photography all day. The other problem is I sold my camera because I knew I didn't want to do photography anymore. But if I did have to choose one to do again, I'd probably choose photography. I love doing photography. I would show you some of my photographs, but Instagram deleted my photography page because it hadn't had any activity in like 2 years. So yeah, thank you, Instagram. So thank you, Mary, for your question. The next question comes from Queen B. She says, I love the Mario blanket that you crochet. Did you ever make a Snoopy blanket for your sister that she wanted? No. I don't typically make things for my family unless they pay for them. I literally charge everybody. My dad pays for stuff. My sisters pay for stuff. My sister knows how to crochet. My sister's just lazy and doesn't want to do it. And me personally, the way my life is set up, if she wants it, she can make it herself because I'm not doing it, especially not for free. No, no. I don't even make crocheted items for my family for like holidays and stuff. Never have. No, that yarn's not cheap or free. So, no. She can make her own Snoopy blanket. The thing is, again, she legitimately is just lazy, and she's told me this. She's lazy and doesn't want to. So I'm like, well, I'm lazy and I don't want to either, and you're not paying me for this, so I'm not doing it. So no, she never got no Snoopy. I did make her a tumbler, though. I made her a Snoopy tumbler and a Snoopy mug. So there's that. And that kind of goes back to my Etsy question, the Etsy question. The reason I'm not opening Etsy up right now is because there's some crap going on with Etsy, and I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Plus, with Scentsy, it keeps me busy whenever I'm not doing YouTube, so I don't have time to open up the shop. The shop probably won't be opened up for a very, very long time. So if you're waiting for something to come out of the shop, I do apologize. It's probably not coming. I would say you can message me and ask, but I don't know when I'm going to be opening up the Etsy shop. Your best bet is if you want something is to just message me and ask and see if I actually have the materials and the time to do it versus waiting for the shop to open. Because, yeah, it's probably not opening. Sublimation is the last thing for my mind right now, to be completely honest. Like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. And I'm not thinking about opening up the Etsy shop right now. So the next question comes from Beth Bromberg. I think that's how you say it. What do you do with diamond paintings when you decided you don't like the painting or you're doing? Do you keep them or do you throw them out with the painting? Oh, the diamonds. What do I do with the diamonds? If I don't like the diamonds that come with the kit, yeah, they get chucked in the trash. I don't keep them. There's no point. What are you keeping them for? That's just extra stuff building up in the house. Nope, I do not keep. I just only recently started keeping my diamonds, like my good diamonds, and then I stopped diamond painting. So it's not like I have a whole lot of them sitting here chilling. Before, I would go over to the group Got Diamonds, donate them to a bunch of people, and then just call it a day, because I never kept diamonds. I always have diamond painting kits that I can steal from. Why keep diamonds? So I would donate them to somebody else. And now that I don't really diamond paint, I mean, the last canvas that I did that kind of made me lose my mojo was the Bev canvas, because the drills weren't the best. And yet, no, I didn't keep the drills. I just chucked them in the trash, because there's no point in keeping them. So yeah, I chucked them. So there you go. Sarah, or thank you, Beth, for your question. The next question comes from Sarah. Have you ever thought about showing completed projects that you complete offline? No. So when I do projects offline, like whenever I'm not on YouTube, when I do stuff on YouTube, that's considered work. That's me working, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, you know, for whatever on YouTube. If there is something in particular that I, like if I do like adult coloring or whatnot, it's nice to be able to work on it and do it and not feel obligated to have to show it. So that's one of the reasons why, like right now, my Just Mrs.Coffee page is pretty much, it's silent. Like I try to post at least once a day, which is usually when a video is about to go up, or if I find a funny meme or something. It's because behind the scenes, if I'm not drawing, I'm probably doing adult coloring or working on my Brooklyn Kaju blanket, or I'm just not doing anything because I don't want to do anything. So whenever I do something offline, I like to make it where it doesn't feel like work. Like I don't feel obligated to have to show it. I don't know if that makes sense, because with me being online all day, every day, it's just nice to not feel obligated to have to show the projects that I finish. It's not like I'm back here like completing diamond paintings or anything like that. Like I'm not. I'm really, if it's a diamond painting, you'd see it, because then everybody would be like, oh my god, she's diamond painting. But I'm not completing diamond paintings or anything like that. It's just like adult color, mostly adult coloring and drawing. And I have a whole different Instagram for my drawing that I do post most of the stuff that I draw there. And when it comes to the adult coloring, there didn't seem to be much of an audience for it, so I don't do it much online anymore. And so I just do it behind the scenes, and it's kind of like something that I do for myself and not for others. So I tend to not post it. So no, unfortunately, when I'm offline, I kind of like to keep things offline, kind of keep it to myself, so it doesn't feel like an obligation or work. Because in the moment it feels like work, then it's just not fun anymore. So thank you so much for your question, Sarah. The next one I have is Lisa G. What is the biggest / smallest diamond painting you have done? Do you like it once it's finished? The smallest kit that I've ever done was a teeny tiny butterfly. I don't remember where it was from. It looked like garbage. The biggest one I completed is the reason why you're seeing me looking up is because it's right behind me. It's K Rico Siren, 174 by 55, I think, round, from Diamond Art Club, and I don't believe they have the kit anymore for anybody that's asking or looking for it. I liked that one, but the butterfly looked like garbage, so no, I didn't like it. The smaller the image, or the smaller the canvas is, the less detail you get, and that butterfly was a blip. Like, it was just like a little blip. I think I got it to do a review of their drills and stuff, and the drills were fine, but the canvas, being that small, I would have had to have gotten it in a bigger size. So, big kit, sure. Little kit, no. So there's that. So thank you so much, Lisa, for your question. Sorry, I put the tablet down. All right, so the next question comes from Marcia. Marcia says, good evening, Miss Coffee. How are you? Love the picture you did. He's so cute. If I wanted to learn how to do what you're doing, how do I go about it? You have a great evening and stay safe. I'm not sure if she means if she wants to learn how to draw or what. I'm going to guess it's draw. If you want to learn how to draw, you just kind of get pencil and paper and draw. I mean, if you have a tablet and you have an Apple Pencil, you can do Procreate. Again, Procreate isn't free. It's like, I think it's like $10. But I work on Procreate, or you can do traditional art. Like, I have numerous sketchbooks where I will take those sometimes instead of my tablet with me to go pick up the kids, and I'll just sit in the car and doodle. Essentially, it just takes practice. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of patience, because everybody's got to start from the bottom when it comes to drawing. There are a few people that can just pick up a pencil and paper and just be Picassos, but that not me. That not me. So just get pencil and paper and doodle out something, draw something, go on Pinterest, look up a picture you might like, try to replicate it. Stuff like that. That's all I'm doing. I'm just doodling things that I like. So thank you so much, Marsha, for your question. The next question comes from Beth. My husband and I were talking about us in high school. My question is, would you have dated Mr. Coffee in high school if you knew each other? No. No. I wouldn't have dated my husband. She said I wouldn't have. No. I've seen pictures and heard stories of Mr. Coffee when he was in high school. No. It would have been a no from me, dog. No. Yeah, no. No. Thank you so much, Betsy Beth. All right, the next one is from Danny Marie. If you could meet any celebrity ever, dead or alive, who would it be? Johnny Depp. And that's not just because there's a trial going on. It's because I've always been obsessed with Johnny Depp. And also, who is your favorite celebrity that you have met? I'm still fascinated that you have actually met The Rock and The Big Show. Hella jealous. That's because my dad knew, like, The Rock's mom. Or not The Rock, but The Big Show's mom. And then, like, you know, stuff happens. My favorite celebrity I ever met. It's always the ones that you don't really, like, you like them, but you don't like them like that. That you meet. Like, I've met everybody from Ron Jeremy. I've met him once. If you don't know who Ron Jeremy is, I don't know what to tell you. I want to tell you to look it up, but I'm scared for the results that you might find if you look it up. I was working at a restaurant. He came in once, and yeah, Ron Jeremy. But my favorite that I've met probably would have to be, I'm trying to think. It would probably have to be Zach Wilde, to be honest. Like, he was really cool and down to earth, and, like, he said he liked my boobs. I don't know. So thank you, Danny Marie, for that. The next one comes from, I want to say it's Dion? I'm sorry if I, Deanne, maybe? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Miss Thomas. I'm going to say Thomas. Did DAC release anything that made you want to start back diamond painting or even get excited? Not really. I mean, there was a couple of kits, but nothing for me to go like, oh my god, I need to get back into diamond painting, yay! Like, no. There was a couple of kits that I did get, but nothing that was like, you know, super astonishing. Honestly, out of the 50 kits that they did release, I think there was maybe a handful of them that I was like, okay, I really like those. And 2 of them I did get. But nothing like super like, you know, whatever, like I didn't go ham crazy over it, and nothing that they released made me want to get back into diamond painting, I guess. So thank you so much for your question. Kate asked, hubby and I were having a oh my god, you had to put that big word in there. We had a conversation and trying to work out how to decide who is mod and who couldn't work out. So was wondering, how do you decide who is mod? I think I had to ask a question on that. Moderators in live. Oh, who my moderators are? So in my lives, one, if they have a business that I bought from, I make them a mod so they can, you know, put the link in for their business. When it comes to regular people, they have to be people that I trust enough to, if I have a problem, they have to be in my chat often. If you are a mod and you're not often in my chat, then I won't make you a mod. Because my lives are a decent size and I can't keep up with chat by myself, I tend to choose people who are in there often, who are active on my channel, who I've had more than 1 or 2 conversations with outside of YouTube, and I feel that I can trust that if something happens in my live, that they will have my back and, like, you know, get rid of whatever is in there, whatever riffraff decides to blow itself in there. It's essentially just a trust system. Some people just give everybody a mod in their thing until they can't give out mods anymore. I'm very selective on who I make mods, because these are people that if I have a problem with someone, I can be like, hey, by the way, tonight, can you guys keep an eye out for this particular person? If they say anything out of line, go ahead and get them out of the chat. So it has to be somebody that I trust enough and that I talk to outside of YouTube land. And I am very careful when I select my mods. So the mods that I have are people that I trust to take care of business whenever I am not paying attention, which is often. So thank you, Kate, for your question. So yeah, like if you're thinking about doing it for like your channel, you want to pick people who are obviously going to be in chat, because if they're already there, it just makes it that much more convenient. You don't want to pick, say, just your friends, because if your friends don't happen to make it to your chat, then you're down a mod because you chose friends instead of people that you see in your chat often. So yeah, so there's that. So thank you so much for your question. Amanda says, what is the best advice you have received and who was it from? Best advice I got was from Redneck Beauty. She said, don't do sub for sub. It's not worth it. If you talk about life advice, best life advice I got was from my contact over at DAC whenever I was working with them. And whenever I would get into a situation, which was often, that people would be saying crap about me, she would tell me that I need to learn to essentially, I needed to learn to reel myself in, and that not everything deserves a reaction. That's probably the best advice I got. So, my contact over at DAC. Well, when I had a contact. So that's the best advice. When you talk about YouTube land, don't do sub for sub. Redneck Beauty. All right. So the next one comes from Sarah Sanders. Would you ever go skydiving? Sure. Did you know there are hot air balloon conventions? No. If money was not a factor, would you buy out all the DAC kits? If money was not a factor, no, I would not buy out all the DAC kits. I would buy Diamond Art Club. Thank you, Sarah, for your question. All right, so the next one is from Safrina, where it says Safrina/Kendra something. If you could have any artist or print into a diamond painting, what would it be? None of them. I would rather have the print. I'm not super big on turning every awesome print that I see into a diamond painting. I don't think I've ever been like that, really. Like, I'm not like super like, oh my god, it has to be a diamond painting. No. I would much rather have the print. One, it's less work, and two, the artist gets they get my full support versus having to split it with a company, if that makes any sense. But I haven't finished my wall yet. But as you can see, I do prefer to have the prints over diamond paintings. One, it's less work. Like, I can just put this up on my wall when I get it out of the mail. I don't have to put a bunch of stuff and work into it. I'm lazy. But, how did she say that? But if I could have any artist in a print, print-wise, not like turned it into I don't need to turn everything into a diamond painting. Not everything needs to be a diamond painting. Not everything looks good as a diamond painting. Let me just tell you that right now. But if I could have any artist, print-wise, oh my god, I don't know. I like Salvador Dali. He's like my all-time favorite artist. He was a very unique artist. So probably Salvador Dali. And I do have, I had a Salvador Dali image. But I'm pretty sure I gave it away to somebody. At this point, I'm pretty sure I did. Because I've essentially given away my whole stash and then started building it back up again. So I'm pretty sure it's way gone by now. But it'd probably be Salvador Dali. But I would want the print. I don't want the diamond painting. Because again, I'm not going to do it. So, thank you so much for your question. I can't read the other name. It's Kizindra. Is it Kizindra? Safir. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to butcher your name anymore. But thank you so much for your question. Sammy Rose, 1989, says, how did you find out Maggie had epilepsy? Oh, boy. So when Maggie started, she was 5. When Maggie started kindergarten, I want to say it was kindergarten, when we lived right before we moved to North Dakota, Maggie was going, and she was having issues with daydreaming. We couldn't figure out why, but she would just daydream. And one day she was getting ready for school, and Daisy would not leave her alone for some reason. I don't know why. She just wouldn't, like, she kept, like, walking behind her and, like, nudging her. And I'm like, well, Daisy, leave her alone. Well, we're standing at the door because back in Pennsylvania, we did have buses. So she was waiting for the bus to come. And I'll never forget it. She had on this cute little tutu outfit with Elsa on it. And she was all excited. And something happened where Daisy, like, knocked into her, and she went to go fall, and I went to go grab her, and I accidentally, like, hit her in the nose. Her nose bled a little bit, and I felt really bad, and I made her miss the bus because I had to clean her up. And Mr. Coffee had called me that morning, and I don't know why he particularly called that early in the morning, but I was like, I accidentally busted your daughter's nose. Oh, my God. And he's like, calm down. Let me talk to her. And she's 5, so she's just like, hi, Daddy. And he's talking to her, and she's like, I miss you, Daddy. And he's like, oh, honey, I miss you too. You know, I'll be coming to see you soon. I don't remember if he was coming in the next week or 2 or what, but he said, you know, he told her, you know, I'd be coming to see you soon. So we hang up the phone with Mr. Coffee, and I go, well, now I got to take you to school. Get her all cleaned up, and I'm like, are you okay? And she says, yes. And the next thing I know, she goes and stands by the door, and I'm like, okay. So I'm getting my stuff ready, and she's looking out the window as if she's looking for something coming. And I was like, whatever. So I went to go get my stuff ready, and I'm like, all right, Maggie, let's go. And we usually went out the back door whenever it came time to leave because we had a carport. And I'm like, let's go. Let me close the door real quick. She didn't move. And I was like, Maggie, let's go. She didn't move. Maggie, she's not responding. But she's looking out the door. And I'm like, Maggie. She's not responding. I'm putting my hand in front of her face. She's not moving. And then the next thing I know, out of some exorcist crap, she's just like, her eyes don't move, just her neck, and it goes as far over, I want to say to the right, I think, as it could, and then she collapsed. And Daisy was right behind her, and Daisy just kind of leaned over, and, like, she just kind of fell over like a sleeping goat or cow when you push him over. So Daisy laid down, and Maggie fell on top of her. I freaked out, 1, because my daughter just collapsed, and 2, because she just collapsed on the dog. And at that time, Daisy was still kind of like a puppyish, so like Daisy was like about a year or so old. And Daisy kept licking at her face. I went to go reach down to go grab her, and Daisy bared teeth at me. It's the first time she's ever bared teeth at me, and I was like, what the flip? I know you didn't just bare teeth at me while I'm trying to get my child. So I kind of yelled at her. And I picked up Maggie, and I'm like, Maggie, and I'm like snapping my fingers, I'm waving my hand, I'm shaking her, not responding. Maybe 2 minutes later, she finally snaps out of it, and she's like, Mommy, I'm going to miss the bus. And I'm like, what the flip? Immediately took her to the doctor's office, told them what happened. They did tests, scans, stuff all over her head and everything else. Like, she missed school that day. And they asked, you know, has there been anything strenuous happening in your house? I'm like, well, I kind of hit her in the nose when she fell earlier, and I feel bad. Maybe that stressed her out. And they're like, no. And she goes, Mommy did on accident. And I was like, yes, I didn't mean to. I went to go grab her and hit her in the nose. And I still, like, feel bad. Like, whenever she falls now, I just let her fall. Like, I'm not joking. Like, if I see her fall in the house or something, I just let her fall. Like, if she's outside on the concrete or something, I'll go help her. But in the house, no, you fall and you on your own. The floor will catch you. But they're like, you know, they're asking all these questions. What could have started this? Blah, blah, blah. It's kind of weird for it to, she's 5. She just started having seizures. And we came to the conclusion by doing tests that the reason her seizures had started is because Maggie had developed severe separation anxiety. The separation anxiety coming from the fact of whenever her dad would talk to her or leave, like whenever he would come visit and then leave to go back to North Dakota, she would go through a fit of extreme stress. Maggie still is very much a daddy's girl. So, like, she just took it to the extreme. And the stress of talking to him and not having daddy there for her to go to school stressed her out to the point where it made the epilepsy visible, meaning I could see it. And she has what is called absent seizures. So the hamster's in there, but he's not on the wheel. So you can snap your fingers, you can touch her, you can like move her around or whatnot, and she cannot and will not respond to you. This usually lasts for about between 3 to 5 minutes. Then she will you'll know when to catch her because she always passes out afterwards. She'll turn her head, I want to say again, to the right, and then she'll just collapse. And then she'll snap out of it, and it's like she was daydreaming. She has no clue or recollection of it. There's been times where it's happened, and like we've been like at like the pool or something, and she luckily wasn't in the pool. It happens when she gets extremely stressed out. But we are now in the process of getting ready to get her tested to see if she has grown out of her epilepsy. Epilepsy does run in my family, so it wasn't a shock that one of my children got it. So my niece, the one I share a birthday with, her name is Daedria. She had childhood epilepsy, but I think she had like the grand mal seizures. I don't remember what they're called. But she had those types of seizures, so I knew at some point one of my kids would have it, and Maggie just happened to be that one. And again, we're getting ready to get her tested to see if she's grown out of it yet, because my niece grew out of hers like a long time ago. So we're hoping that she'll be grown out of it. So thank you so much for your question. Oh, she asked another one. You said you are replacing the diamond paintings on the wall with artwork. What do you plan to do with the diamond paintings? Now, I'm not replacing all of the diamond paintings, just this wall. This wall over here and possibly part of the wall in front of me. The wall that sits behind my chair, that will stay diamond paintings. Just because when the sun shines in during the afternoon, it's really pretty. What do I do with them? What I end up usually doing with them is I roll them up with the drills facing out, and I put them in a box until I'm ready to have them hung up again. And because I change my mind as much as I change my underwear, which is daily, I don't want to get rid of the paintings that I've completed just because I know at some point I will probably want to diamond paint again. Just at this point, whenever I get my heart set on something, I don't want to do anything else. It changes. Believe me, it changes. I can go from crocheting to diamond painting to cross stitching to, it's just whatever my little heart desires. And right now my heart just isn't desiring diamond painting. And when it comes to getting the art prints, I do like having the art prints up on the wall. But there are some diamond paintings that like I would keep up. Like that whole wall back behind my chair would stay, and I would probably just focus on these two walls. So yeah, I just put them in a box and roll them with the drills out. So thank you so much, Sammy Rose 1989 for your questions. Wendy says, Miss Coffee. Dear Miss Coffee, can you tell me how to purchase a personalized cup? I saw your Crazy Cat Lady. I love it. I would love to have one. I just need to know the price so I can save up money for it. Thanks, Wendy. When it comes to a cup, like if you want me to make you a cup, you just have to ask me. If I have the time and the supplies, I will try to make you a cup. But again, that's the Etsy thing. The reason I haven't opened the Etsy shop is because I've been busy with the Scentsy stuff that I haven't had a chance to do anything with sublimation. So yeah, you just ask me. So thank you so much, Wendy, for that question. KIC is the next person. Thank you so much for your question. What is your opinion on selling finished diamond paintings? Make your bag. What are you talking about? What's my opinion? Make your bag if you can. Sorry, that's Killian sliding across the floor. If you can make money selling your finished diamond paintings, do it. You bought the kit. It's yours. Sell it. I don't know why anybody would have a different of opinion of that. I'm sure somebody would, to be contrary. But me personally, if you can make your bag off selling your finished ones, make your bag, honey. You ain't hurt nobody. I'd say do it. So thank you for your question. Sam Rose came back and said, are you ever going to finish Swan Lake by Diamond Art Club? That kit is long gone. I don't even have that kit anymore. So no, I will not be finishing Swan Lake. But thank you again for popping back in. All right. Darcy Clark is my next person, and she says, you told us Minna's birth story. Are you going to tell us Maggie's and Orion? Sorry if I Sorry if I didn't spell her name right. You spelled Minna's name right. You spelled Maggie and Orion's name fine, too. So I just did a whip and chat, which I'm going to have to put up in the eye. I just did do a whip and chat with the kids' birth stories, which, you know, I told her I would, because she was like the second or third person that had asked me, and I'm like, did I say something? Did I do something? Like, why is everybody all of a sudden wanting the birth stories? And then somebody made up a good point because it's Mother's Day is coming up, and I was like, oh, that could be it. So, thank you, Darcy, for your question, and hopefully you got to see that whip and chat. Oh, we're almost done. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of A's and N's. Lordiana, is it Lordiana? I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. Who is your favorite coloring book artist, and what's your favorite materials to use? Pens, pencils, or something different? Coloring book artist? I don't really have a favorite. I have, like, favorite books, but, like, artist-wise, I'd probably say, like, Hannah Lynn. It's either going to be Hannah Lynn or Jade Summers, because they are two of the more consistent artists that come out coloring books often. When it comes to materials, markers, alcohol markers, brush tip alcohol markers. Those are my favorite. That's what I use whenever. I will use color pencils, of course, to do some kind of like highlighting and stuff. I'm learning new techniques and stuff, so I will use color pencil. But I like markers and anything Jade Summers or Hannah Lynn, and I have all their books except for Jade Summers. I have a couple of them. I don't like all of them. I just got a couple of them. But Hannah Lynn, I got all hers. Okay, I was on her Patreon. I got all of them. Okay, so thank you so much for your question. I'm going to skip over the next question just because it asks something that's a little bit sensitive that I don't really want to talk about on the channel. So I'm going to skip that one. I did answer her in the comment section of that one, so I'm just going to leave that one there. And then the next question, or the last question, says, Warrior Princess TG, did you do the diamond painting of the alien stealing the boob? No. Do I still have it? Yes. It's one of the ones I did keep, because if I do get back into diamond painting and get back into the groove of things, I would like to complete that one. So I have not completed it, and she said she had not either. So thank you so much for your question. Now I'm going to go take a short break to go warm up my coffee, one. And two, I got to go answer some questions real quick. So I'll be right back. It'll be a blip for you. For me, it'll be like 20 minutes. So I'll be right back. All right, just a blip. All right, thank you so much for your questions over on YouTube. Now we're moving over to the Facebook group, which is Crafters Anonymous with Miss Coffee. So the first question comes from Erica. She goes, why do you want to move to Caribou, Maine? I don't know. It's just, one, Mr. Coffee used to always say Caribou. I don't know why, but he did. It was a weird thing he would always do. And then when I found out there was a Caribou in Maine, I just thought it would be cool. So there's no like in-depth reason. It's just, that was just the first place I picked. So thank you so much for your question. Cheryl Wilkins asks, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob? I'm Team Edward all day, every day. So thank you so much for your question. April asks, I love this post. I'll have to think of some good questions. Oh, wait, I have one. Has poor Brooklyn Kaiju recovered from all the thirsty women you sent over to his Twitch? I think so. I think he seems okay now, so I think he's recovered. He has a lot of child support to pay, but I think he's recovered. So thank you, April, for your question. Annette asks, my question is from a game called Would You Rather? See picture. So she sent me a picture of the question, and it says, would you rather have a personal caddy to carry all of your stuff, or a personal minstrel to record your life in song? Give me the caddy all day, every day. I got lots of things. I got lots of things that I can use help carrying. So I'm going to go with the personal caddy on that one. So thank you, Annette, for your question. Kira asked, where's your happy place, and what makes you happy? What makes it happy for you? My happy place. Honestly, my happy place would have to be the upstairs craft room. The reason I say that is because there's a couch up there. There's no electronics up there. There's no Like, I don't have the best phone service in that room, and it's happy because it takes me away from everything. When I'm up there, I have any craft that I could think of or want to do up there, and I have quiet so I can think. So my upstairs craft room would be my happy place because it's essentially a little bubble of nothing, and I like that. So that's my happy place. Mine is the Butterfly Botanical Gardens in St. Louis. I went there as a child and loved being surrounded by hundreds of butterflies and plan on having my wedding there. Oh, that's cool. They have something like that in Harrisburg, PA. I think it's like the Botanical Gardens or something. I've been there once. But if you're talking about outside of the house, the woods. I like walking through the woods. I've always been weird like that. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, it's just been a thing. So, probably the woods if it was outside of the house. So, thank you so much, Kira, for your question. Hajar asked, what was the one thing you regret in your life most? Love you and your family. One regret I have in life. No regrets. I don't have many regrets in life. Honestly, I feel like I don't have any regrets because everything that I've been through has gotten me to the point that I am now. And I don't feel like I don't feel like if I changed anything in my life that I would be where I'm at. If there's nothing, I can honestly say there's nothing in my life that I regret, like that I've done that I can say I've regretted. And that's not me saying that I think that I'm better than anybody else or whatnot. I just think that anything that happens in life is a life lesson, and it taught me something about life that I didn't know before. So I would say I don't have any regrets. Actually, if I had to come up with one, it would be that I didn't start YouTube sooner. I had actually thought about doing YouTube back when I lived in Pennsylvania, but I never did it because I was like, oh, that's stupid. Y'all, anytime I go to try to do anything, I'm like, that's stupid. It's always stupid. I don't know why. I'm slow. Anyways, thank you so much for your question. Melody asked, when and how did you and Mr. Coffee meet? We met 13 years ago. And we met at a mutual friend's house. And Mr. Coffee was dating somebody at the time, and I was just coming off of my breakup with Minna's dad. And because Minna's dad and I weren't married, we were just dating. And I patiently waited because I knew his relationship with the girl wouldn't last because she was snobby little something. And Mr. Coffee didn't seem that way when I met him. So I was like, yeah, that's not going to last long. I'll just wait. So I waited for him to break up with this girl, and then I swooped in. And I haven't left him alone since. So yeah, that's how we met. Like, we met in Pennsylvania. And it's weird because we happened to both move to Pennsylvania within a week of each other. Like, he was in New York and I was in South Carolina, and we both happened to move to, and that's part of the weird coincidences with my life right now. Mr. Coffee was born in Santa Monica, California, and I was born in Tacoma, Washington. Somehow we both made our way over to the East Coast, and he lived in New York and I lived in South Carolina. And then within a week of each other, in December of, I want to say, I don't even know. I don't remember what year I moved to Pennsylvania. I just know we moved to Pennsylvania, or we moved to that part of Pennsylvania within a week of each other. We both moved to Pennsylvania years prior. But that particular part of Pennsylvania where we met, we both moved there within a week of each other. So I think I moved there first, and then he moved there like a week later, and our paths just happened to cross. So that's how we met and stuff. So thank you so much, Melody, for your question. Molly asked, how did you come up with all your kids' names? Oh, this is a good one. Okay, so Minna. I actually, and I will fuss about this until the day I take my last breath. Minna's name was supposed to be Emily Elizabeth because I loved Clifford the big red dog. I've always loved big dogs. And so I wanted to name her Emily Elizabeth. Minna's father, on the other hand, had different plans. He decided that he wanted her name to be something that had meaning. And I'm like, okay. Well, Elizabeth is a family name for his family. His mother, his aunt, or was it? No, his mother, his sister, and his grandmother all had the middle name of Elizabeth. So we decided that we would keep the Elizabeth part, but make it a middle name for her. When it came to her first name, I let him pick it because we had an agreement that if it was a girl, that he could pick it because he really wanted a little girl. And if it was a boy, I would pick it. So I let him pick it. And he told me what her name was going to be maybe 2 months before I had her. And he said he had decided on the name Minna, spelled M-I-N-A. And I was like, where the heck did you get that? And of course, my parents are just like, you're naming my granddaughter after a fish? And I'm like, we said Minna, not Minnow. But her father came up with it. It's out of one of the Dungeons and Dragon books that he reads. It's I don't know. That's just, it is what it is. When it comes to Orion's name is, we both like the stars. One of Orion's middle names comes from this guy that used to work at the bar with Mr. Coffee. Sebastian comes from the movie Cruel Intentions and Little Mermaid. And, of course, his last name. And then there's Maggie. So I've always wanted a little girl named Maggie so that she could have hair bows. I like The Simpsons. So the name Maggie, that's where that came from. Well, then there was a girl at the bar that I really liked, and her name, they called her Maggie or Mags, which is what we call our Maggie. So I was like, what is your real name? And she told me it's Magdalene. And I was like, oh, I like that. Now, I switched how you spelled it because around that time, I want to say Minna's grandfather on her dad's side had gotten sick. And I wanted to incorporate his name into one of my kids' names because he was like a dad to me for a very long time. When I was estranged from my family, he helped take care of me. He took care of Minna. He didn't see us any differently or anything like that. And I wanted to have a piece of his name. I wanted to incorporate his name into one of my kids' names, which of course I couldn't do it with Orion because he was already born and already had a name that he was attached to. So with Maggie got Minna's pap's name in her name. So Maggie's first name is Magdalene. Minna's pap's name was Lynn, with 2 N's. So Magdalene, Magdalynn. Magdalene has Minna's pap's name in it. And so that's where Maggie's name came from. The girl from the bar, and then we just incorporated Minna's grandfather's name into it so that so that I could be appeased to have his name and Maggie's name. Does Maggie know this? No, she doesn't know. She does remember Pappy Phillips, but she can only remember bits and pieces. She was just probably like 2 when he passed away. So, yeah. And then Isabella came from Twilight. Sky is something I think Mr. Coffee picked out because with Orion having stars, he wanted something to deal with like the sky, and we just decided on Sky, Skyy. Maggie has a very unique name with a lot of meaning, or more meaning than the rest of them, I guess. Plus we knew she was going to be the last one, so I was like, you better put all the meaning into one name. So that is where how the kids got their names. So thank you so much for your question. Mary Carolyn, I want to say that says Carolyn, says, tell us about your modeling days. I hated it. I hated it. I hate having my picture taken. I didn't realize how much I hate having my picture taken until I did modeling. I did one ad for Levi. I did a bunch of Jordache ads and stuff like that, and I hated it. You worked long hours. You didn't get a lot of food. You didn't get a lot of downtime. And have you ever sat and like looked at the camera and posed for 45 minutes straight, and you had to put on a fake smile? Like, no, God, it was awful. It just wasn't a career that I knew I would stick with. My agent still nowadays tries to get me back into it, and I'm like, no. I still talk to her, but I'm not into the modeling. Daisy, I'm talking, ma'am. She don't care. But my agent still tries to get me into doing modeling nowadays, and I'm like, no, I'm too old for that now. Like, I've put that part of me in the past, where most people have a stripper past. I have a modeling past that I would just kind of like to get away from. So that was modeling. Modeling, it was fun for a while, and then I just started not to enjoy it because I realized that I really don't like having my picture taken. So there's that. So thank you so much for your question. Sherrilda Milton asked, what are 10 things about love, 10 things you love about yourself, aka Dream Dream? Oh, hi Dream Dream. Daisy, knock it off. I love my self-confidence. I love my attitude towards things. I love that I am outgoing. I love that I am still at my age have dreams and ambitions that I'm trying to follow. I love that... You said 10? I'm already at 4 and I'm just like, I don't know. I like how tall I am because I can reach all the stuff in the cabinets and I don't need my husband's help. Daisy! Okay, hold on a second, guys. Sorry, she sees the neighbor cat. Where did I stop? I think I was at 5. I can reach all the stuff in the cabinets was number 5. I don't know. I just like being me. I love me. I wouldn't want to be anybody else. I just love me. I don't think I have 10 things. I just like everything. I just like everything. I like the fact that I love my family the way I do, and that I have a rational brain to do things the way that I like doing them. I like that I don't let other people's opinions of me stop me from doing what I want to do. I like the fact that at any point in time, I can be like, you know what? This is what I want to do, and I'm going to find a way to do it. I like the fact that when people tell me I can't do something, I find a way to do it just to prove them wrong because I like being right. So those are things I like about myself. I just like me. I don't know. I didn't always have all this self-confidence, and now that I do, I ain't letting it go for nobody. So thank you so much, Dream Dream, for your question. Myra Pagan asked, on your whipping chats, how do you know what not to share? Lessons learned. And I had to ask her, I'm like, what do you mean what not to share? Like oversharing? And she said, yes, overshare. How do you know not to overshare? I don't know. Honestly, I have no real thing for that. It's when it comes to YouTube, it's what you're comfortable with sharing. Now, would I share with you guys if I did something illegal? No. Not unless it was like defending my family or something like that. Like if I was doing drugs, I'm not gonna be up here like I'm up here doing booger sugar. Like I'm not gonna share stuff like that. I share what I feel comfortable enough sharing with you. So like if I feel comfortable enough sharing, like earlier I shared the story of how Maggie got epilepsy. I didn't have to share that, but I did. I didn't also have to share the fact that I accidentally hit her in the nose and her nose started bleeding, but I did. I share what I feel comfortable enough sharing with you, which is pretty much everything. It's just what you're comfortable with sharing. When it comes to oversharing, you obviously don't want to get too personal. Like, I don't know, like, oh my God, like, I have a hemorrhoid today or some crap. Like, you don't want to be sharing stuff like that. That's a little too much. Me personally, again, I just share what I feel comfortable sharing, and usually that's about everything because I just like to talk, apparently. So, thank you so much for your question, Myra. Becky Sue. Hello, Becky Sue. What is your favorite art medium? Alcohol markers. Oh, the guy's picking up the sign outside, sorry. Just for fun, what is your favorite TV show / movie? Twilight. I don't watch TV. Who is your favorite music artist, or favorite song? John Mayer. I love John Mayer. I've been obsessed with John Mayer ever since I was in high school. John Mayer. I don't really have a favorite song. I don't think. Not one that I can think of. If I did, it'd probably be, see, I can't even think of the song. It's a John Mayer song, so anything from, like, his first album, I loved all of it. So thank you so much for your question. Liz says you did a great job. Thank you, Liz. Okay, Marsha asked, Marsha's on Facebook too, so she asked, did you ever finish the Swan diamond painting, the Swan Lake diamond painting? I no longer own that diamond painting, so no, I did not finish it. Did I plan on finishing it? I had planned on finishing it, and then I got tired of seeing it, and so I got rid of it. Don't tell Becky. Deanna Thomas, I want to say it's Deanna Thomas. She's from Thing too. She asked me the same question she asked me over on YouTube, which was, did DAC drop anything that makes you want to pick up your pen again? Not really. Lucretia asked, when you're crafting, what is your favorite audiobook or music to listen to? I listen to kind of like lo-fi music when I diamond paint or draw or whatever. I don't really listen to books too often. Just because the kind of book, like the romance books and stuff that I like to listen to, usually I'm not drawing when I'm listening to them. I'm usually just kind of like, if I'm planning out my day, like if I'm writing in my planner, or if I'm just, I guess if I'm doodling, like if I'm drawing, I can listen to an audiobook, but if I'm doing like diamond painting, I'm not paying attention because I'm thinking of things while I'm diamond painting. So, I would, if it was drawing, romance novels are like my go-to for books, and when it comes to music, it's usually lo-fi. I will put it on the TV and just have at it. So thank you so much for your question. She asked also, what advice would you give for new YouTube creators like myself who see you as an inspiration? One, if you see me as an inspiration, you already got problems. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm just joking. Don't try to get to my level. Try to be better than me. I think the worst thing that people can do when they see someone like me that they, I guess, see as inspiration is go, I want to be just like her. Don't be just like me. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff with me when it comes to mental and physical with my channel that a lot of people do not see. You see me on camera, I'm cute, I'm made up, I got my hair did, I'm not in a hair cap. Ask Patreons, when they see me, you think they see my hair? Never. A hair cap or a beanie. The only time you ever see my hair, literally, is if I'm doing one of these videos where I have to show my face, because I don't think y'all would appreciate me coming up to y'all with a hair cap on. Killian, get from over there. Sorry, y'all, he's over there trying to take cookies out of my box. But don't be like me. I've made a lot of mistakes on YouTube. I've done a lot of great things on YouTube. And if I had to give any advice, it would be don't copy or mimic me to get to where I'm at. You won't get there. Don't copy and mimic everything that you see. If you see a creator that you really like, and you're like, I want to do like them, I want to be like them. Don't want to be like them. Be better than them. I can't tell you why, I can't understand why people would want to limit themselves to be like somebody else. Because I tell you guys all the time, just because it looks happy and nice, like right now on my channel, and I'm like, I love my husband and my children are wonderful. My children are monsters outside the screen, okay? These aren't like Precious Moments dolls. These are regular kids. They have regular problems. Like, I caught my daughter trying to eat dirt the other day, okay? These are normal kids. My husband gets on my nerves all the time. This is not the Brady Bunch, okay? We're not over here having happy family moments 24/7. No, we suffer from real life too. So, like, you guys see and get stories. And the funny thing is, the stories that I tell you guys, I'm usually hella mad about before I'm telling you guys a story. And then I just happen to tell you guys how I think about the story in my head, and y'all just think it's hilarious. Makes me feel better about the situation. But honestly, be yourself, and don't aspire to be like me. Aspire to be better than me. Take and look at what I've done. Look at what mistakes I have made, or what you might view as a mistake that I've made. How would you improve on what I did wrong? Do that. Don't limit yourself to being like me. Be better than me. Rise above where I'm at. So that is what I would tell new creators coming onto the scene. And it ain't hard because I'm lazy, so I don't do much. So thank you so much for your question. Lucretia, the next one comes from Denise. If you could do one craft anywhere, where would it be at? Anywhere in the U.S. And what craft would it be and why? I would probably draw in South Carolina because I'm from the South and I like sitting on the porch doing stuff. Literally simple question or a simple answer. And why can't I go outside the U.S.? That's a question for you, Denise. Why can't I go outside the U.S.? So thank you so much for your question. Jarma Thomas says, what do you do with all the trays that come in DPs? Do you keep all the leftover extra drills? No, I don't keep any extra drills. For the boats, I donate those to the library or to the elementary classes here because they use those for the little kids for snacks and all kinds of stuff. Like, they, of course, clean them. But I donate all that stuff to, like, the library and the elementary school because they love little stuff like that. They, like, eat that stuff up. So thank you for your question. The next one comes from Jackie. Hi, hun. I love drawing, but I find that I can never draw the same thing twice. It's on paper, not digital. So she does traditional art and not digital art. Have you ever found this, that you can never redraw? Will you ever do another tutorial on crochet? Thank you. Okay, one, I have a whole playlist on crochet videos. If you ever see something crochet related that you would like for me to do, just let me know. It does take me a while to do it because I have to find a pattern that I'm not going to get in trouble for sharing. And then I have to record the video, which can take up to a couple of days because it's not like I can just bust these things out in like 20 minutes. And I have to have time to do it as well. And with summer coming, oh, good God. So I do have a playlist. And if you see something, if you don't see something that you're looking to learn, you let me know. And then I'll try to figure out a way to make a video for you for the crocheting. When it comes to drawing, what she's asking is, when I, like, say if I have to make a hand and then I have to make a second hand, she's saying that she can't make the same thing twice. My problem is I'm right-handed. I can draw things on the left just fine. Drawing things on the right, no. No. That's not happening. No. I don't know why that is. I can make, like, my curved lines, I can make them to the right. I can't make them to the left. So whenever, like, when I'm doing traditional art or if I'm doing digital art, I have to flip my project completely around and put my lines that way because I can't, for some reason, my hands don't work that way. They don't want to go to the left. They only want to go to the right. So I get it. It's a thing. You're not alone. You are not alone. Please reread the comment. I did not. Okay. Yeah, because she put a different word than crochet, and I was like, what? What does that mean? Sometimes I can't read, like, I can't get the context clue of what you're asking, so I'll ask you to reread it and try it again. So she was like, yes, crochet. I'm like, okay. So I knew she was talking about crochet. So thank you, Jackie, so much for your question. Sarah says, Miss Coffee, can you explain your school district? Okay, this is the one I was laughing at. Sarah Price, she had me in stitches over this one. Miss Coffee, can you explain why your school district does not provide transportation? I have never heard or seen a city that doesn't have buses for kids to ride to school. I'm trying to understand how it works. Is it a state or city thing? I believe it's a city thing. I don't know. I've only ever lived in Williston. And I'm going to guess because the weather here is so crazy that they don't want to be liable if something happens, like if they get into an accident trying to bring your kid to school. Honestly, I have no idea why there's no buses here. Now, there are buses. Technically, there are. There are a couple of people that have bought buses, and for a fee, you can have your child ride the bus, and they will make a route to your house to pick up and drop off your child. Me, personally, the way my life is set up, I'm not paying $300 per child to have them ride a bus when both of them live within 10 minutes of my house. So, I don't know why. You would have to call the district office and ask them, because I honestly have no clue, and I don't like it, but I do it, because it gets them out of the house. So thank you, Sarah. I saw that and I was like, I don't know why they don't have buses here. You know, I've been asking that same question for 4 years. So thank you, Sarah, for your question. Alice says, do you have any regrets about making your YouTube channel public? Yes, lots. On a bad day, no matter the circumstances, how do you push through? I'm actually going through that right now. So I mentioned it in my vlog this week. I was literally in tears. I'm going through a bad time right now. I am currently depressed. It might be hard to tell because, happy and Mrs.Coffee is happy, yay. But I am currently very depressed. I have a lot of health issues that are going on, and a lot of the stress that I've gotten from YouTube and drama is manifesting itself into physical ailments. I just found out that my iron level is lower than it was when I had my stroke. I also have an infection on my kidney and my liver, which is causing a whole slew of other issues. It's part of the reason why I haven't had the energy to diamond paint and why I don't feel like doing anything. And the fact that I've been feeling so crappy for the last, month or so. I never thought of it as, your stress from life can manifest itself into something physical, but it very much can, because on top of that, I also have 3 ulcers. So I'm on a slew of antibiotics. We had a health scare thing happen this week, and I ended up having to go out to the ER, which you guys would have heard me say that I needed to get back to the doctor's office. That is why. It takes a lot to push through, because I've gone through a lot on YouTube. I've had people throw my name through the mud. I've lost subscribers over said drama. I've had people that called themselves friends turn their back on me. I've had people that called themselves friends talk trash on me. I've had it all. Like, when I tell you guys I am the most hated YouTuber on this platform, I'm not telling you that because I want to get everybody being like, oh no, Miss Coffee, I love you. No, I literally am. For no other reason than either jealousy or people just don't like what I have to say, and they like the honesty that I have until it's directed at them. And the stress from everything that I've had going on lately has literally caused my body to start essentially breaking down. So right now, currently, I'm on a slew of meds, and I have to get iron infusions. The anemia, I'm not sure what happened with the anemia, but it's causing a slew of other issues, and it's, again, another reason why I have no energy, why I don't feel like diamond painting, why I don't like sitting back in my craft room. I'm depressed. And how do I push through? I don't even know at this point. I feel like I'm running on autopilot, and I feel like I have been for a very, very long time. I'm not going to lie, when the stuff with DAC happened, that broke me. I didn't know if I even wanted to continue my channel, but I knew there were other people I knew there were people that depended on me on this platform to keep going. And seeing as how my children look up and watch what I do, I didn't want them to see that just because something that happened to me that was unfavorable happened, that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. Because how am I going to tell them to keep going and push through if I can't do the same? And as you guys know, I've gone through a lot in the last couple of months. Let's go through it. In September, we got COVID, and I had to have emergency gallbladder removal surgery. November, I had a hysterectomy, which messes up your hormones. In December, I want to say it's early December or late November, I got hit by a car. Physically, like, my body got hit by a car, and then I got rear-ended in a car 2 weeks later. In January, I lost my grandmother, I lost my uncle, and then a week later, I lost my grandmother. February 1st, I lost my connection with DAC, and something else happened. I don't remember what it was, though. I think I lost another family member. And then the stuff with a few of my friends happened last month. I think it was last month. I don't remember. But I've had all this stuff just thrown at me. And to say that it's not affecting me, it might not look like it's affecting me, because I'm not going to let it affect me on YouTube. Me on YouTube is, that stuff needs to be put to the side. I have a job to do here. But it very much does affect you. And seeing as how I'm trying to be a better person, I'm trying not to, go talk bad about people on the internet and stuff like that. Because usually I'd be the first one to clap back. I'd be the first one to have something to say. And for those folks that didn't like it, I'd be like, you can kick rocks. But nowadays, I'm trying to calm it down to the point where not everybody or every situation is worth energy. Not everybody is worth my words or time on my channel. So I don't give it to them anymore. And that goes back to the advice that I got from the folks at DAC. Not everybody deserves that airtime on your channel. So currently right now, I'm working through depression. Depression and knowing that people will not stop asking me, when am I going to start diamond painting? Depression. For the first few weeks, every time somebody would ask me about a DAC, it would hurt really bad. Like, I'm like, why or how did you not see that I haven't unboxed a DAC in months? And people are still asking me where my sneak peeks are, stuff like that. That gets depressing because it's a constant reminder that I no longer do business with them or have that business, whatever, with them. It did bother me for a while. Now I'm just like, do you not pay attention to anything that I do? I haven't unboxed them in the longest time. I just recently unboxed the first Diamond Art Club since January, Monday this week. So I'm like, now, like after that first 2 weeks after it happened, I was just like, yeah, I'm just not even going to bother answering the question at this point. Because if you didn't pay attention or see that I haven't unboxed it in a while, I don't know what to tell you. But it's hard. It's hard working through it because I get really angry. And I want to lash out. Everything inside of me says lash out. But the fact that it's starting to affect my health, I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to push through it. Right now, currently, to be completely honest with you, my husband and myself are talking about my exit plan for YouTube. Because once it starts affecting your health, like your actual health, it's not worth it anymore. And I've been on this platform long enough to make a difference. And I think it's my time to kind of step back and let others shine. Plus, like, I took a week off of YouTube, but it didn't feel like I took a week off YouTube because I was constantly still doing stuff so much that I didn't even get to enjoy the time off. So the way I try to work through it is I try to make sure that every day now I get me time where I can do anything that I want and I don't feel obligated to do what other people want me to do, because where a majority of people on this platform that know me want me to diamond paint. And they're like, why aren't you diamond painting? When are you going to diamond paint? When are you going to finish this? How long is it going to take you to finish that? That pressure that I get from subscribers, I now just ignore it. I'll get to it when I get to it. I'll finish it when I finish it. You can't, I'm learning that you can't let people dictate what you do. And where YouTube is a platform that I decided myself to get onto, again, this was done for my kid. This wasn't done to appease anyone. So the fact that I do requests and stuff, I do that out of the kindness of my heart, not because I feel obligated to do so. Just like with diamond painting. I don't want to feel obligated to do it. And at this current point in time, I'm feeling a little obligated to do it. And I'm like, I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. So I've been drawing. Which is why I'm still working on the same kit. You guys know I usually finish kits pretty quickly. And I'm still working on the same kit from, a month ago? I've barely, and anytime you see it, I've made no progress. Why? Because I don't want to work on it. Work on it when I feel like it. Usually, it's easier for me to diamond paint than it is for me to draw. So that's why you've been still seeing it. Because drawing takes a lot of concentration because I'm still new at it. Diamond painting takes no concentration at all. That's just picking out colors and putting them on the corresponding symbols. It's not rocket science. You just... So that, and I can think a little bit clearer whenever I'm diamond painting versus doing drawing, because if I'm drawing, I'm thinking about what I'm drawing, not what to tell you guys. So it's hard to work through a rough patch. It's hard to push through. But it's kind of one of these things where I'm going back and remembering, why did I start YouTube in the first place? When it became not so much about Minna and it became more about taking care and those people I consider family as subscribers, why did I continue to upload knowing that first video went public? What reasoning did I do that? And when I think back to like the early days of my channel and how things were then versus how they are now. Right now, I feel like my channel is a dumpster fire. It is slowly burning up in flames. And it's just something that if you want it bad enough, you'll find the reasoning and a way to make it work. And I've never really wanted to be successful on YouTube. I just wanted to make videos for my kid. And if I were to tell her, you know, mommy's getting really sick because all the stress and everything else, she would immediately tell me to stop. She would just be like, why are you still doing it? Just stop doing it. Do I want to stop? Kind of. But I'm going to give it a little bit to let this medication sink in and see if maybe getting my energy back will get me back into my mojo. And no, that does not mean that, if she gets her energy back, she'll diamond paint. No. I'm not as fanatic over diamond painting as I used to be. That's my doorbell. Somebody's walking past my door. I'm not as fanatic about diamond painting as I used to be, and I probably won't get back to that point. I'm just content with it for right now. So, I'm going to just deal with, I guess, being content with it. Pushing through for me is just trying to remember why I started it in the first place. What reason did I have to start it? Why do I want to continue? Why do I not want to continue? And weighing the pros and cons. YouTube was never really about like having the biggest subscriber count or anything. It was just about entertaining people, which is what I want to do. I just like entertaining people. You guys think I'm funny? I like entertaining you. So essentially it's just going back and remembering why you did it in the first place. As cheesy as that sounds, it's literally the only answer I could give you, because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. With all the health issues that I've been having and everything else, that's all I can think of is remember why you started YouTube and keep that in mind. Because as you guys know, my oldest still does not live with me, and I do talk to her, but not regularly. She regularly watches these videos, though, so she can go back and watch these videos, and she still has a log of what's going on in the house. So, yeah, long story short, remember why you did it in the first place. So, thank you so much for that question. Alice. It was Alice. Next question comes from Nicole. Do you ever see other black people in North Dakota? I'm gonna guess you ain't never been to North Dakota. You think it's just white people here? Do I ever see other black people in North Dakota? Yes. North Dakota is quintessentially a melting pot. So you see people from all kinds of places. There are people here from Nigeria. There are people here from South Carolina. There are people here from Alaska. There are people here from Maine. There are people here from Arkansas. There are people of all different types, shapes, sizes. This is a very mixed cultural place. I can go downtown and I'll see a Jamaican restaurant, a Chinese food place, a Japanese hibachi grill, and a dentist office all on the same block. There is a plethora of different people and races here. I'm not the only black person here, believe me. So yes, I do see other black people in North Dakota. Even where I live, I see other black people. A lot of them come up here for the oil field work. Mr. Coffee has a few of them that work at his job. There's a couple of black people that work at his job. One of them is from Nigeria, and he comes up and he works here for 6 months and then spends the other 6 months at home, because by the time he's worked 6 months and sent all that money home, his family's rich where they live. So he just goes home for 6 months, and then he comes back in 6 months, and then he goes home for 6 months. You see all races here. It's not like, I'm the only black person, like a Finding Waldo or something. Like, yes, there's other black people here. So thank you for your question. That's the craziest question. Stacy asked, hey, Miss Coffee. Oh, thank you, Nicole, for your question. Stacy asked, Miss Coffee, how is the whole family doing? We're doing okay. How did you start digital drawing? And what kind of tools do you need to draw digitally? How many crafts do you currently do, and do you need all the craft things for each craft? One, you never have to buy all the things for any craft, okay? So there's that. One, the family's doing fine. getting ready for summer to hit. The kids only have 2 weeks of school left. They get out early here because we don't have snow days. So, like, if y'all remember that blizzard, we didn't have power. The blizzard happened, started Friday. We didn't have power Saturday, Sunday. Power came back on Monday. The kids were back in school Tuesday. So, we're getting ready for summer. How did you start digital drawing? I was doing traditional drawing. Mr. Coffee brought up me doing digital drawing, and Mr. Coffee knows that it's always been a dream of mine to be an artist. So he got me a tablet and a pencil and said, why don't you try digital? So I tried digital. What kind of tools do you need to draw digitally? Tablet, drawing app, pen, Apple Pen, or whatever pen stylus you might need. And how many crafts do you currently do? I diamond paint, I crochet, I draw, I adult color. I think that's it. I think. So 4. And do you need all the things? No, not really. When it comes to like diamond painting, all I need is a tray and a pen. I'm straight. When it comes to adult coloring, all I need is a good coloring book and a good set of markers. That's it. Essentially, it's finding what you like and buying that. Don't give in to the hype that, you know, every time you see a new ad for a new coloring book or color pencils and you're like, oh my God, I have to have those. Don't do that. You don't need all that stuff. You really don't. You really, really don't. It's designed, a lot of advertisement stuff is designed in a way to give you this hype, as you would say. And it gets you excited and it gets you want to buy it. And then once you buy it, you kind of get a little bit of buyer's remorse because you're like, why did I buy that? I didn't need that crap. So, you don't have to buy all the things. Just buy what you like and just leave it at that. Like, don't buy a bunch of stuff that you're going to waste money on and then just have it sitting around your house not being used. So, there's that. And do you need all the crafty things for your craft? No, you don't need all the crafty things for your craft. Just buy what you like. Don't worry about the rest of the stuff. It is what it is. So thank you, Stacy, for your question. And our last question comes from Laura. She says, hi, you're one of my favorite YouTubers. Oh, thank you. I love hearing your stories about your family whenever I'm having a hard time. That's awesome. I put on one of your whipping chats, and in a matter of minutes, I'm laughing so hard I just forget. I just wanted to say thank you for everything you do. Oh, thank you, Lauren. I really appreciate that. When it comes to doing YouTube, I do really love doing YouTube. There are some bad aspects of it, but there's also a lot of good. Like, you meet a lot of good people. And I think I said this in the Q&A for number 2. You meet a lot of really good people, and they really enjoy your content. And it's stuff like that that also helps me keep going whenever I'm in a rough patch like I am now. Knowing that there are people out there that are going through something, you know, as bad as you or possibly worse, and knowing that just you doing something that you're talking about your family or you're talking about whatever, it's making them forget just even for a little bit why they're upset or why they're having a bad time. Stuff like that also can push me to keep going. So that's another reason why I pushed to keep going for that question that was asked earlier. So with that said, that is it for me today, folks. Thank you so much for asking questions. If you would like for there to be another Q&A, write that down in the comments, and I'll go ahead and put up another picture for you guys to ask more questions. So again, thank you to everyone who asked questions in this particular Q&A for number 3. I really, really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel and would like to see more random crazy videos just like this, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell down there. It costs you $0 to be kind, and it means a lot to me. It helps me continue this dream of crafting, I guess, for a living. But with that said, folks, always remember to stay safe, stay caffeinated, and stay crafty, and always try to remember to be kind to others. You never know what somebody else is going through. Check in on a friend today. Be courteous, because why would you want to be courteous? And always be cool. We'll see you guys in the next one.